Welcome to Creative Imperfections, the podcast where perfection is overrated and messy magic gets the spotlight. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to Creative Imperfections. So today, the topic is planning your year. And the idea really is to plan your year without over-planning your life. There is a lot of noise around planning a new year. January is filled with all the ways you can set yourself up for success in the new year. It's filled with resolutions, big goals, bold declarations, perfectly mapped timelines. And while all of that can look inspiring, it can also feel really heavy, especially for creatives. So today, we're doing this differently. This is not about planning every step. This is about choosing a direction and giving yourself permission to figure the rest out as you go. Because magic doesn't live in perfect plans, right? It lives in movement. It lives in that messy middle. It lives in showing up even when you're not entirely sure how it's all going to unfold. Instead of asking yourself, what do I need to accomplish this year? I want to invite you to ask a gentler question. How do I want this year to feel? How do I want this year to feel? And not just on your best days, but on the ordinary ones, on the days where you're tired, on the days where things do not go according to plan. Do you want this year to feel calmer, more spacious, more aligned, more courageous? Those feelings matter. Those are the feelings that can give you direction, because when you know how you want your life to feel, decisions get a lot clearer. And not instantly. Don't expect this to happen overnight. But over time, each decision becomes more aligned with how you want to feel. And the next shift is, instead of creating rules for yourself, I want you to try creating anchors. Anchors are not chains. They don't lock you in. They ground you. So maybe it's a word, maybe it's a value, maybe it's a simple intention like consistency or ease or growth. These aren't goals that you beat yourself up with. These are going to be used as filters for your year. When an opportunity comes your way, you can ask, does this support the life I'm trying to build? Does this move me closer or pull me further away? And sometimes that answer will surprise you. So now let's talk about structure, because having some structure is helpful. Too much structure can suffocate creativity. We all know that. If you're someone who tends to burn out with overly detailed plans, then this is your permission slip to keep it light. Think in seasons instead of schedules. Think of focus areas instead of rigid goals. You don't need a perfectly plotted year. What you need is a sense of where you're heading and the flexibility to adjust when life gives you new information. I've said it before, changing your mind is not failure. It's feedback, and it's absolutely allowed. You are allowed to pivot. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to outgrow the plan that you made when you knew less than you do now. And that is where the real planning happens. You fill it in as you go. And that looks like monthly check-ins, weekly reflections, quiet moments where you can actually ask yourself, what's working right now? What feels heavy? What's energizing me? And what's draining me? Planning doesn't have to be once a year. It can be a conversation you keep having with yourself, and you should. Weekly, monthly, you should be having these conversations. And yes, of course, there will be days that you miss, weeks that don't go as planned, and plenty of moments where you feel like you've lost all momentum. None of that means you're failing at anything. It simply means you're human. We're always looking for progress over perfection, right? Progress doesn't always look like forward motion. Sometimes progress looks like rest. It looks like letting go or choosing differently than you thought you would. So if you're listening to this right now and feeling overwhelmed, here's your only assignment for today. Choose one word, name one intention, pick one direction. That's it. That's enough. You don't need a whole map. You just need enough light for the next step. We're not looking at the whole staircase. We're going one step at a time. And as you take that step, messy, imperfect, uncertain, trust this. You are building something, even when it doesn't look finished yet. And that is where the magic lives. And always remember, there's magic in your imperfections. Go out there and find it. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Creative Imperfections. If you have a friend who could use this advice right now, please feel free to share this with them and make sure you subscribe.